So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's only one other car here in the parking area, and we are at the northern terminus of the Warpack Trail. So completing this hike today, we'll have hit every single summit in the 27 miles of the Warpack Trail. We're going to be hiking to from here. We're going to be hiking from the northern terminus down to North Pack Monadnock, along the ridge to Central Pack Monadnock, and then Innicole, and finally up to South Pack Monadnock and into Miller State Park. So should be about roughly 4 miles hiking and about 2,000 feet of elevation gain. So time to start this hike. So we're only about 1/10 or 2/10 of a mile in, and we've got a little stream crossing. It was here at the early part of the summer. It was actually rushing water, and now, even though there's plenty of water in the bed, you can see it's definitely not rushing anywhere. So it's been a dry couple of weeks, and it's reduced the stream pretty much to a trickle. So just cross this, and at this point the trail starts to head up. So here we are, about 0.4 miles, a little less than half a mile in. We passed through this really dense grove of rhododendron and mountain laurel. So here we are, about a half mile in, and this is usually pretty swampy ground here. You can see they put some nice bridges in. Right now it's bone dry, so it's pretty easy going. In the spring, this whole area is just submerged, very swampy, lots of mosquitoes. But today it's an easy walk. You can see there's a couple of trees here with really brilliant foliage, and then a bunch that are still pretty green, and a lot of leaves that are just down. So this has not been an unbelievably colorful autumn here, probably because of the warm temperatures, which are still, like right now it's 8 o'clock in the morning and it's already 58 degrees. Supposed to be warming up to close to 80. So we're at 1,600 feet and almost just under a mile in, 9/10 of a mile in, and you can see now that the trail splits, and here the double triangles indicate the steeper path up. You can see to this rock slide. If I can pan up a little bit so you can actually see. You can see a little bit of the ledges. So there is a trail that goes up to the very top of this slide. And I think we'll try to do that now, and then we'll take a little bit of a break at the top of the slide. The trail does also do a bypass around. But it would be fun to actually kind of scramble up this little bit of a rock outcropping. Whew. So you can see just came up this rock slide. It's not really that tall, maybe about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet high, but there's one or two places that it does require you to get down and drop your poles and grab some handholds. So we've made it up that one. I'm going to go another 10 minutes and then take a little bit of a break. So from here, you can see now, once we made it up this slide, we've got a stretch of ledges ahead of us, our first cairn, and it looks like there's some sunlight actually breaking out through the trees, which is nice. So follow the yellow triangles. So we're at 1,800 feet and 1.1 miles from the trailhead, and there's this nice rock wall up here. So I'm going to sit down. Good time for a water break. But turning around, you can see a gorgeous view of the mountains. I can see fairly far today. It was a little humid. So this view that we have here is to the northeast. And you can see all the way in the distance that looks almost like a double summit. The summit to the right is Belknap Mountain, which is where we were hiking a couple of weeks ago, if you remember a Piper Mountain hike. So the view today is at least as far as that. To the left of those peaks are the white mountains. You can just barely make them out through the haze. So it'd be interesting to come up here on a crystal clear cold day and see if you can actually see Mount Washington in the distance. So a view toward the Belknap Mountains. So we've passed through a second rock slide, and here we're looking at a third, and the trail goes straight up this one. I think this is the last of scrambles before we get up to the ledges that lead up to the summit of North Pack. So you can see a old stone wall over to the right. I think that's part of the old Petersbrorough border, if I might remember correctly. So take a quick breather here, and then up this scramble, and probably the next pictures will be from the summit. So we've just broken out of the hemlock forest onto a ledge facing west, and there is our token view of Pack Monadnock, which is no doubt very crowded today because it's a beautiful autumn day. On the other hand, I have not seen one other person on the Warpack Trail today, so we've had the entire mountain to ourselves, which is great. So we're going to head around to the east and get to the true summit and see if there's any views from there. And actually, heading over here, even though there are no trail markers, I see a very large cairn. Just on the other side is this little fir tree. Wow, that is the biggest cairn I've ever seen. A little bit reminiscent of the sacrificial altar of Abraham and Isaac. So I take it this is the summit. There's a sign here. Yes, it is. So we are on North Pack Monadnock after hiking about an hour and 3/4, 2,276 feet. And you can see in this direction heads the cliff trail, which is a loop around the summit. We're not going to do that. We're going to follow the Warpack down to Middle Pack Monadnock summit and finally Pack. So not that much of a view from the summit itself, but there was that really nice ledge looking out to Mount Monadnock. So I'm going to take my pack off here, take a little break, and then we'll head on down to Middle Pack. Well, nibbled on a Cliff Bar and had some water. So now it's time to head down to the next summit, which is Middle Pack Monadnock. And finally over to Pack. So I think actually you can get a view of where we are trying to go. Yeah, those radio towers in the distance are on the summit of Pack Monadnock, and actually you can see the summit of Little Pack about 2 miles away. So time to head down, start heading down the trail to our next summit. Oh, that's nice. Place a little sign for us here so there's no guess on where we're going. It is a rough looking trail going down though. So we've been walking for quite a while from the summit of North Pack. It comes down pretty steeply and narrowly through a bunch of rock slides, and now I've been paralleling this stone wall for quite a bit, and the trail seems to be leveling out with drop-offs on each side. So I'm on some sort of a little ridge. So stop in a bit and try to figure out exactly where I am. You see some nice views through the trees. We have to be close to the summit of Middle Pack, because once this heads down, we're in the coal before heading up to Pack Monadnock. So another 10 minutes, and then it's time to consult the map. So most of the walk along this ridge line has been through hemlock forest. It's really pretty and open, not very rocky, lots of needles underfoot. So this has been a really nice break from the previous rock scramble. Well, after walking uphill quite a bit from the summit of North Pack, you can see the cliffs over there in the distance through a break in the trees. We kind of came down to the left side of those cliffs and down the mountain through the valley and then back up. We've reached this summit at the top of this half-mile long ridge walk, and this is it. This is Middle Pack Monadnock, and it is the last peak I needed to bag in order to bag the whole Wallpack Trail. So felt like I actually accomplished something in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to take a water break here and then start the 1,000-foot climb up to our next and last summit, which is Pack Monadnock, which you can't actually see from here. Whew. We're halfway up to the summit of Pack Monadnock, and it is a steep and relentless climb. So we're just passing by this really large slab or rock slide. Looks like it's taking down a couple of trees on the way. It looked really pretty with the moss in the sun. And it looks like the trail diverts around another fallen tree. This is actually one of the more level sections of the trail from this point. So it looks like the trail goes off to the right here, but there's an outlook to the left. So let's check out this outlook. Oh, very nice. So this is looking south and southeast sure if it wasn't so hazy, we could probably see Boston. We're looking in the right direction. And through the trees, you can see the cliffs of North Pack Monadnock. So we came from all the way over there, down the valley, and back up the mountain. Nice views. You see most of the leaves are already down up here. Well, made it to the summit. Here's a good view of the cliffs over on North Pack. So about 3/10 of a mile from the parking area at Miller, and one last view of Mount Monadnock before we head back into the trees and down one last scramble to parking.